going to be in Crow's route now. Very exciting, and I like this new picture we got on the home screen. I unfortunately have to mute the music that plays on this because it's copyrighted. So, can't do that. Oops, it's trying to play one of the videos. I don't know, y'all really want me to watch those videos. Maybe I'll go through one day and play all those. But anyways, I think we have this new repeat option. I'm guessing this is going to be for Crow's route, because it's the only new thing I have. So, let's go ahead and select that here. Oh boy. Thus, the clock advances. Thus, time advances. To everything there's a season, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to laugh and a time to weep, a time to every purpose under heaven. An unchanging tempo. Time never turns back and it never skips forward. That's the rule of this world. As such, a being capable of breaking that rule has to be called a god, like Chronos. I'm excited. Crow's route is going to be lit. I can tell. I found myself pondering these idle thoughts over as I rode the monorail, grasping the handlebar. It really wasn't that amazing a story. I was merely returning from my date with my girlfriend. At a time like this, to feel as elated as I did was only natural. In other words, the fun times went by so quickly that they almost felt like the time wasted afterwards. The summer sunset really leaves an impression. Who was supposed to be our girlfriend then? Who's the canon girlfriend right now? Despite trying to play it cool, I couldn't wipe the grin off my face. At the beginning of the summer, I decided to make it my goal to get a girlfriend, and after many twists and turns, I'd finally arrived at this moment. More so than landing on the moon, it was the kind of thing that can make a person feel like they'd shaken hands with a Martian. That'd be kind of weird. The train slowed down as it neared the station. Who the hell is this? I told my girlfriend sitting quietly in front of me that we were getting off soon. She? Why is all this in quotation marks? She looked up at me and displayed the kind of happy smile that can melt any man's heart in a second. Told myself not to get too excited, but all the same, I wonder if perhaps my guardian angel had helped me in the time of need. Congratulations on becoming a real man, Ray. I could die happy right now. What have we been doing? Huh? Be careful what you wish for. At that moment, my own idiotic mumbling spoken at a point in time, when I was at the very peak of a roller coaster track, about to plummet to Earth. Oh boy. What's going on here? That moment, our final story centered on Chronos' clock began. A story stretching from the beginning of summer, where my fate was changed and my life was saved until the time I stared death in the face once more. A story of everyone striving for their own happily ever after. If I'm truly prepared to die, then so be it. What does that mean? The moment I heard that voice, there was a sudden violent crash. Had I not been holding onto the handlebar at that instant, I would have been sent flying. An earthquake? That was my first thought, but that turned out not to be the case. I put my hand on my aching arm and looked around, stunned. The world had broken, or more accurately, the absolute rule known as time had come to a halt. I couldn't understand the situation, but I was undeniably experiencing it. The previous jolt didn't happen because of an earthquake, because time stopped for everything but me. It was the law of inertia that nearly threw me to the floor. If the monorail had been going full speed after flying down the length of the car I was in, I quite possibly could have broken an arm or even been killed. A chill ran up my spine as if I had nearly stepped off the edge of a cliff. But what truly terrified me was something of a different kind. I noticed it. Oh! Hi! That's scary looking. Crow? You okay? Crow's form floating in the air and looking down on me looked strangely familiar. However, it wasn't the usual adorable face that I saw. Her expression was frozen in place. Crow? I did know that. My mind, racked with confusion, could only fully understand two things at that moment. My mind was predisposed to understand them. Firstly, I understood that the sight before me was not the Crow I knew. This was the bona fide goddess of time. Secondly, I understood that I was going to die here. Don't like this route anymore. I don't want to die. As if it had been imprinted on my brain with a branding iron, the word die and all of its implications became clear to me. A being which defied human logic had appeared before me without any warning, leaving me in a situation that was mysterious and incomprehensible. Why? The question fell from my lips, even while I had no idea who in particular it was directed at. The goddess's visage remained unwavering.
なぜという疑問に答えるために生きている。それを私は媒介を通して知っている。だからお前が死ぬ理由をお前に納得できる形で定義することはできない。
I'm trying to see, is her eye supposed to be kind of like a clock? Supposed to be the hands for each hour? Felt a shiver of fear. Even my usual smart-ass self couldn't make a cheesy quip while being stared down by a terrifying existence like Chronos. We were talking at each other, not to each other. There was no mutual understanding. She wasn't answering my questions or confirming anything, she only spoke in the slightest whim. I didn't understand what exactly was happening, but I understood that the instant this conversation was over, I would be killed. This feels like the bad ending for this route, and it's just the beginning. Is this because there's bad things in my future ahead? There wasn't any particular reason for me to be killed at this point in time, so I wondered if the goddess of time before my eyes sought to kill me based on something from the future. Then is a descendant of mine going to destroy the world or something? That's not reassuring.
お前やその子孫が世界を滅ぼすというのは比喩でしかない。
I don't know. How would I destroy the world?
世界を人間が最大限観測できるこの次元そのものと定義しても、それが滅んだところで私には何の影響もない。
I don't know. Clearly it is, because you've been hanging around in this world.
よって世界が滅ぶことはない。
Her speech was arcane and cryptic, but she was more or less telling me that even if the world were to be destroyed, she was a goddess, and she didn't give a flying... Well, you guys know. Huh? Then there isn't a real reason.
そうだ。講義においては理由がない。
Okay, well, I don't like dying for no reason.
納得できないことを理解した上でなら、お前は偶然死ぬというのが最も近い原因と伝えることは可能である。
I don't like that. I don't want to die for no reason whatsoever.
それでよいか。
No. She wasn't actually asking for my consent. Regardless of whether I said yes or no, it would all be over the instant I gave her an answer. I mean, Christ, what could I even do about all this? Feel like I'm playing war games right now. If you guys have ever seen that movie, it's from the 80s. It's really good. Recommend it. Even if I held my tongue, I would be killed. If I came up with another question to try and understand things better, that would still only be delaying the inevitable. I needed to hold her attention. The only reason I was even alive right now was sheer luck. But in my confusion-addled mind... I'm screwed, aren't I? I was so busy beating myself up over things of no importance that the conversation had ground to a halt. Oh, somebody's saving me, thank goodness. And then the world before me turned white. Who's saving me? It was Crow's voice, right? Crow is saving me from Crow. You know, makes sense. Nothing happened. The deafening silence was broken only by the cries of the cicadas. Very typical Japanese, I don't know, just, you hear that in anime, you hear it in visual novels, you always hear cicadas. I could sense that the abnormal presence had disappeared and the sounds of normal life had recommenced. Huh? I fearfully opened my eyes. Somehow, I was back in front of my house. It was once again a peaceful and damnably hot afternoon, and I was standing there alone, in a stupor. What? I was just about to say, we turned into Dee Dee there for a second. I could practically see the question mark pop up over my head. Is this the afterlife? Nah, it can't be. These surroundings are familiar as ever. I whipped my head back and forth to verify I was still alive, but I didn't have any injuries to show. The only remnant from the ordeal was the cold sweat running down my spine. Was my imagination playing tricks with me? That daydream was too bizarre for words. I was irritated enough to scream that quote-unquote goddess to get the hell out of my dreams. I just hope that whole part with my girlfriend wasn't a dream, too. Then I heard a strange voice. Ugh. What is this? What is this melody? Oh, it's so good. Can we look at this real quick? Yeah. Okay. Crow got turned into a schoolgirl. This is the best day ever. I knew this route was going to be great. In my haze of confusion, I completely failed to notice the girl next to me clad in a school uniform. She was staring into and at nothing. She looks so small and delicate. How could someone be so adorable? That's what I'm saying, right? Wait a minute. I didn't recognize her at first as her hair was braided. She wore unfamiliar clothes and also wasn't floating above me. But was this Crow? Her appearance was totally different. Crow was looking up at me with eyes like saucepans. Gosh, she's so cute. I love it. Crow opened her mouth to say something when no coherent statement came out. It was weird enough that she was wearing a school uniform and standing on solid ground, but... Hey, explain to me what's going on here. I mean, your explanations are usually worthless, but can't you help me out just this once? Crow suddenly took a huge inward breath. Are you dying? And then coughed. Hey, what happened? Are you alright? Despite my exasperation, I patted Crow on the back as she coughed. The second I touched her, she jumped away from me in surprise. Whoa there, I didn't mean to touch you in that kind of way, so no need to be shocked about it. Did I just touch Crow? I couldn't believe it. Huh? I just touched you, didn't I? This is the best day ever. I'm in love. I could still feel her body's heat at my fingertips. More importantly, Crow's breathing was still quite ragged. I just love that this game actually has a Crow route. I feel like games where they have like this kind of supernatural being, there is no route for them. And this game is like, yeah, we're gonna put a route. I do feel bad. Last episode, I kind of bagged on this game. And I said, like, none of the routes were really, truly special. I mean, they were good, but they weren't, like, phenomenal, is what I said. This one might be the phenomenal one, having Crow as the character. Because Crow is just leagues ahead of all the other girls. So I'm really excited to see what the hell is going on here. Crow got turned into a schoolgirl, and how can I complain about that? I can't. So clearly this happened outside of her control. I don't feel like this is something she necessarily wanted or made happen on purpose. I think that's kind of what is being implied here. I'm wondering if this was made true because of maybe Ray's desire for her to be a love interest. Maybe like he kind of manifested it. Really confusing though. I wonder what happens if the guardian of our watch turns into a real person. Maybe that's what that whole other side of Crow was. Maybe it got split. You know? Who knows? Crow looked as if she was about to cry as she told me what happened. She's straight up lying to us. Look at this. Is this not a goddess, guys? If that's not a goddess, I don't know what is. It's Crow in a school uniform. I couldn't ask for more. I had a mountain of questions to ask of Crow, but I didn't want to bother anyone else in the neighborhood, so I took her inside. You know, I would have preferred if she like still kind of stayed as her like adult form, but you know, I can't really complain too much. Crow opened and closed her hands while repeating a mantra of words to herself, as if she were invoking a curse. Though she sounded a lot more like a radio announcer doing a mic check. I wonder if she's speaking like this because she's not even used to using her voice. Like, she's like literally like trying to physically like make the words come out. Are you telling me you have absolutely no understanding of human senses? I might skip a little bit because she's doing the thing where she's spacing it out. This is giving me flashbacks to Haruka. Well, you start doing it on autopilot, and then you see those videos that people sometimes post, like, oh, you're now breathing in manual mode, and you're just like,
もうコツをつかんだぞ。
Oh, thank goodness she's learned quickly. Then give me an explanation.
うるさい。我が輩も考えているのだから少し静かにしておれ。
Hey. She decided to ignore me. Give her a second, right? Like, this is clearly new to her. She probably doesn't know what the hell happened. I mean, I think we need to give her some slack, okay? So we'll take our time. Since Crow wasn't helping at all, I fished through my pocket to see if I could find something more useful. Inside were my wallet, the pocket watch, and my phone, the usual suspects. What I could tell, there was no problem with the pocket watch. As for my phone, checking the date and time on my phone, the memories immediately came rushing back. Are you shitting me right now? At first, I thought this was some sort of weird deja vu, but the time and date displayed were right around when I was nearly hit by that truck, give or take a minute. Ooh, we went back to the very start? In other words, today was when I made use of the watch's power for the first time, and the date of my first encounter with Crow as well. This is infinitely better than the power of changing time. We literally, like, forced a goddess to become a human. I mean, what's cooler than that? Which meant Makoto had yet to drop her lunchbox, and Miyu had yet to make her initial attempt at confessing to Shuji. I was going to say her initial attempt at committing suicide by accidentally falling off the roof, because she did it multiple times. So everything that happened on that monorail wasn't a dream after all.
まるで悪夢だ。なぜ我が輩はあんなことをしたのだ。
I don't know, did you wish for this to happen? And was I wrong? Crow muttered as if she were building on my own train of thought. Then I started to understand what had become of Crow's other form. Crow, did you send me back in time in order to save me? Is that why you're not a goddess anymore?
なぜそうしてしまったのやら。
Oh. Apparently our death was inevitable. And, it was Crow herself who was going to kill us. I don't really understand that, but Crow gave me a quiet chuckle as if she were castigating herself. Crow, about the goddess Chronos, are you both different
い
beings?
や、同じものだ。
Okay, that's kind of what I thought,
だ
but
が、我が輩は切り離されてしまったようだな。
yeah, why'd you go crazy? We're on a what now?
我が輩はもともとこの世界とコミュニケーションを成立させるために意図的に自分を小さく切り分けたのだ。
Ah. This reminds me of Angel Beats, where Angel kind of like split herself into multiple personalities. And yeah, that was a mistake.
神という存在は大きすぎて小さき人間の世界を知覚することができない。だから人間と同じ耳でその声を聞き、人間と同じ目で物を見るために自分の一部を小さく切り分けた。
Huh. Maybe Crow's other form is worried about us like having an influence over this form of Crow?
それが我が輩だ。
Oh, you're the small piece. Like an interpreter. Crow did say that this part of her existed so that she might have the power to communicate with this world. But I never could have imagined she existed for that purpose only. So, that must mean you defied the main body, which was trying to kill me, and trying to save me, you got sacked, so to speak.
俗物的な例えだが、そういうことだろう。
Crow, I'm trying to help understand. I'm trying to help you. Why do you need to insult me?
とっさのこととはいえ、自分を拒絶するとは呆れたことだ。
Crow looked a bit gloomy, but given the situation, she seemed surprisingly calm. She always had a bit of a carefree personality. I don't know. I'm not complaining or anything, but why did you save me? And also, why did I have to die in the first place? No, actually, the first thing I should say is thank you. There we go, Ray. Dang, look at that look. Look at that look. Why was she glaring at me for thanking her?
お主のその妙な義理堅さに我が輩も気の迷いを起こしてしまったのだろうな。
Yeah, I feel like we had a good relationship, okay? Yeah, you didn't need to kill me. Well, thanks. At least I got something out of all the effort I put into being polite and showing thanks in my everyday life. In other words, it was because she liked me. Ooh, okay, okay. That kind of made me happy.
それより、お主が殺されなくてはならない理由だったな。わからん。
Well, thanks. That's helpful. You don't even know what your other self was thinking. That's awfully disappointing.
常々お主は失礼だな。
Hey, I think I've proved myself to be pretty capable, okay?
切り離された今の我が輩にはわからんが、理由がないことが理由であったとしても驚かんよ。
As I cocked my head to the side, Crow did the same in response and gestured to the
お
ground.
主は歩いているとき、草や虫、それよりも小さな微生物を常に避けて歩くか？
No. Well, I make an effort not to step on the flowers, but I'm not that much of a tree hugger or anything. That moment I had a hunch of what Crow was about to say. Hey, you're not going to say that I was almost crushed underfoot by Chronos because our paths happened to overlap, are you?
知らんが、それくらい尺度が違うということだ。
I don't know. I feel like it's different when you're comparing like a human to a bug. Like, yes, our level of knowledge is like drastically different, you know? I feel like bugs don't really have three thinking though. Like a human has three thinking. Now there might be a being that's like way above us and has like a grander scale of the universe. But we still have three thinking. I don't feel like a bug comparatively, I don't feel like you could compare that to a human versus like a human and another being. Like we know how to think. Our understanding is maybe not as big. But I feel like a bug just kind of goes off instinct. Humans, on the other hand, do go off instinct. That would be correct to say. You know, we like to have sex. We like to breed. You know, that's a natural instinct of ours, right? But I feel like we also do things that are counter to our instincts. We do things that are irrational and don't make sense. And I feel like that's what really gives us our like free agency and our free will to do things. We do things that go against our natural instincts, that go against what necessarily might be the right or wrong decision. We think for ourselves, and sometimes we're irrational and do things that are counterproductive to what we really should be doing, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's hard to compare a bug that just kind of only does what it thinks it knows to do, and kind of like, I don't know, it's born, it does something, you know, it does whatever bugs do. I don't really feel like it has three thinking. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go do this, and I'm just going to go observe, you know, just going to hang out and enjoy myself, you know. It just knows survival. That's all it knows. And humans know survival, of course, but we do a lot more than just that. We do things for pleasure, for fun, and we're all vastly different, you know. I feel like animals and bugs are pretty similar. You sometimes have the odd one, but humans, we're all odd. We all do our own things. We all have our own quirks. So I would say we're different than a bug. I wouldn't think I wouldn't compare like a god to just stepping on the earth and not caring about us, you know? I feel like we've surpassed that level of intelligence. Anyways, rant aside, let's continue on here. I guess nearly being hit by a truck or even being hit in the head by a meteorite would be good examples of that. I still couldn't believe it. Oh no, Michiru's gonna see us with this other girl. Then I heard Michiru's voice from inside the building. It's unusual to hear her shouting like that. There were still more questions I wanted to ask Crow, but I was more worried about my little sister, perhaps due to my own overprotective nature. Michiru, what are you doing? Went out into the porch and then into the annex looking for Michiru. It is me, your beloved big brother. Michiru came out of my room. She probably would have jumped into my arms if she could see me, but rather, she was turning her head to and fro, trying to figure out where I was. I moved closer and took her by the hand. What are you yelling for? Crow had evidently followed me inside, stepping awkwardly into the hallway after me. Oh, you... Wait, what? How does she know about Crow? Guess you would be able to hear her now. Did Michiru always know about Crow? I thought she didn't know about her at all. Except for, like, certain situations. Okay, no. No. We're not going back to the scenes where, where she called herself our bitch. We're not going back to those. The I don't even know what that is. Sequitur? Took a second to fully sink in and make me do a double take. What was that? Giving Michiru a flick on the forehead, I went back to thinking about the present state of affairs. I understand that you can hear Crow's voice, but how do you know her name, too? That was from Michiru's route, wasn't it? That's how we explained her? Is my theory about the other routes having some canon effect on everything, is that true? Okay, I need to keep playing. Come to think that I do remember. Michiru pushing me down, both of us breaking the pocket. Yes! 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 We're gonna remember all the routes. Let's go. Okay, this made the game better. This made the game so much better. I mean, I really like ChronoClock. Like, don't get me wrong. I know I said some harsh things about it, and I kind of was just like, it's an okay game. This makes everything better. This is what I live for when stuff like this happens, when, like, everything just kind of merges together. And you're like, yes. Okay, I'm so excited right now. Precious memories made with little Michiru. I remembered, but when did all that happen? My time fell out of joint. But then I suddenly realized that girlfriend I had been on with the monorail, I couldn't remember her face. Was that Michiru? For a start, I had no recollection at all of having a girlfriend. Do you remember the violin contest with Misaki? What? So she remembers 2 different routes. I see your knack for conveniently altering your own memories to suit your wishful thinking hasn't changed. In any case, it seemed Michiru did remember that whole affair with the contest. I also remembered something that went on between Makoto and I involved another pocket watch, and on top of that, something about a wedding with Dee Dee came to mind as well. Was this a confluence of memory? Though somehow I didn't have any memories of dating Miu. That was kind of sad. Yep, that hasn't happened yet. Glanced out the window at the bright blue sky. Nice weather we're having today, too. I knew this route was going to be good, and I didn't know what way. I mean, just being with Crow would, like, sounded like a good idea, right? But this is like a culmination of all the other routes, and I love that. I love that they went that way. It's not just like, oh, you need to kind of like, I don't know, I'm comparing it to Hello Lady, where like Hello Lady, you kind of got more information as you went and like different things happened. This is completely different. This is like saving everything and then just building it all into one. It's perfect. I love it. This is all your fault, though. I don't know. This makes all the other routes better for me because it means that they matter. There was a purpose to them. Like, there's memories and things that happened. I wonder to what extent do they remember? Like, is Dee Dee gonna remember us, like, having lived together, and Michiru's gonna remember us having little Michiru and things like that? I mean, I guess her name was a little Michiru, though, because she wasn't technically Michiru. Wonder what's gonna happen with that. Are we gonna get to see? This route's already very exciting, because there's just so much going on. I still kind of hold my opinion that all the other routes were, like, they were okay. They had good moments. But this route is going to be made so much better because of all this. Michiru tilted her head. Of course she'd be confused, all things considered. With a sigh of resignation, I took out my phone. This must have meant the other girls had mixed up memories too, the same way Michiru did. This is like just such a... I can't say that word. Or at least I don't want to. This is such a culmination of everything. It's going to be so good to see like how everyone's just confused. They're just like, what the hell is going on, you know? I'll explain once everything else is here. Everybody else is here. Oh, this is already so good. I'm so hyped. Like, we just started this route. I'm really curious to see where this goes, because, like, I don't know. When I thought about it, considering the date, I realized I wouldn't have had any of the girls' phone numbers yet. So I had Michiru call the dynamic duo of first years with the same moment. Makoto showed up at our house as well. But with that in mind, we decided to congregate at Central Park. For some reason I couldn't quite discern, I found the phrase first assembly of it's all Ray's fault club floating to mind. I had to pray that there wouldn't be a second one. Although I guess Dee Dee wouldn't have left the UK yet by now. Her timing was as horrendous as always. What a cutie. Anyways, returning to the issue at hand. I'd already explained the gist of the situation to everyone, but Misaki spoke up loudly in protest, evidently still confused about everything. I really hope that they remember the romance parts. Like, not just, like, the events, but I really hope they remember the romance. Because that'll make this so much more interesting. It'll make it so much more funny. If they're all, like, have memories of being in love with us, but, like, we go for Crow instead and cuck them all. I'm really excited for that. Crow, who had become the center of attention, could only shrug her shoulders. Yes, they all have memories. Ah, Misaki, I love you so much. I'm so excited. This route is so much better than I could have ever imagined. And I'm so glad nobody spoiled it for me. Like, nobody spoiled what was going to happen here. And I'm so glad because this was such a shock to me, such a surprise.
他に誰に聞けって言うのよ。というか、なんであなたに聞かないといけないの？
Now that you mention it, Misaki, I guess you never knew about Crow before. Michiro can fill you in on that a little later.
私もクロさんとは初対面ですが、いいでしょうか。
It's interesting, though, that Miyu's is after Crow's route. I wonder what that means. So is Miyu technically supposed to be the canon girl? I don't know. I really am curious to see what Miyu's route's going to be like. And having seen this route before that, it'll make it interesting. Miyu raised her tiny hand, evidently having something to
お話に
contribute.
あった彼女をレイ先輩が認識できないということは、今は量子力学の重なり合った状態のような感じなんだと思うんです。
Miyu has an explanation for this. What? Here, just so you guys can see. I'm trying out the camera down here, just because I feel like it kind of blocks a little bit less, but I guess at this moment it kind of blocks some. Sorry about that.
何それ？重なり合った状態？レイ先輩が誰とお付き合いするのかが確定せずに揺らいでいるってことかな。
Oh, so interesting. Are you saying like this is gonna correct itself once I start dating somebody?
今はまだその可能性がみんなにある。これでどう？
This is like the freaking ChronoClock multiverse.
難しいお話はよくわかりませんね。まとめ！みんながレイ君のこと好き好き大好きハーレム状態でもう一回用意ドンってことだね。
This is gonna turn into a battle royale for my love. The greatest part is I'm never gonna choose any of them. I'm gonna go for Crow every time.
わかりやすい。
Even though I like Misaki and I like Makoto, I would love to have like a do over Makoto's route and actually like have more romance and, you know, not a bunch of craziness. Looks like Misaki doesn't have anything constructive to add to this conversation. Yeah, she's just over here smiling like, I don't know what the hell's going on. That suited her though. Besides, Makoto, why are you so elated about all this anyways?
だってこの感じだと普通の女の子に私も混ぜてもらってるっぽいじゃん。
Yeah, I mean, your whole route making you like crazy because of Loki. Or I don't even know if I'd say crazy. I mean, you guys kind of explained to me kind of a little bit about Loki and that. I read that comment for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most normal Makoto's been. For sure. I know you have a weird idea of excitement, but yeesh, now my stomach hurts. Harem route. Yeah, imagine if this was just a harem route. We get with Crow, we get all the other girls. Already such a good route. I really hope it just stays strong throughout the whole thing, and this will be the route that I say is phenomenal. If that happens, if this stays strong, I will be like, okay, this is the route that made the game worth playing. But since they all still had sincere feelings for me, I wasn't just caught between a rock and a hard place. I was surrounded by enough rocks and hard places to qualify as a human demolition site. Wow, okay. Then Michiru loudly clapped her hands together.
でしたら、私以外の方は潔く身を引いてください。
No. Absolutely not. That's verboten.
うわ、みちるちゃん、対応早っ。そうよ。別に私は先輩のことなんて気にならないけど、どうして彼女がみちるじゃなきゃいけないのよ。皆さん、よく考えてください。私と兄様が結ばれなければ、みちるはこの世に誕生することができないんですよ。
Rick, she's actually bringing it up.
あの可愛い子をこの世界に祝福してあげずにどうするのですか？人質？
A hostage.
ちょっとみちる、子供を盾にするのは卑怯よ。
There it is. There's that music in the background.
ああ、一応だが、それぞれの時空のご主人とお主らは何も問題なくむつまじく過ごしているはずだぞ。
There you go. You can read it.
そうなんですか？そうではないという感覚が我が輩にはないのだが、過去に戻って未来を変えられるということは時空が無限の枝になってるんですね。
Space-time continuum must be like a long An infinitely long branch.
やっぱり私たち自身が確定されていない揺らぎそのものなんだ。みゆさん、せっかくまとめた話をまた小難しくするのはやめましょう。
Miyu's just thinking so much bigger than everybody else.
そうだね。ごめんね、みちるちゃん。ちょっと面白い話だったから。
Conversation went on without giving me room for input, though that probably made it easier for me. Felt a bit weird since I had memories of falling in love with all these girls, but no memories of what happened afterwards with any of them. Okay, so we don't remember the kind of after part, I guess. So like each of the routes went up to a certain point. They played like the outro, whatever, the ending, and then there was like that little scene after. So we don't remember the scenes after, I'm guessing. Even if all those memories had just been too good to last, like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, it would have been nice if I still remembered them. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed about that. It would have been cool to like imagine the rest of our lives together. Like it felt like we had multiple lifetimes. That would make it even more interesting, but it was probably a bad time to ask, but can I go home now?
目立たないようにしてても逃がさないわよ。責任を取りなさい。
What? I didn't even do anything. It wasn't even me. Responsibility, well, I'd love to do that, but do I just have to choose someone right
これ
now?
まで通り末永くよろしくお願いいたします。
Here's the thing. I don't choose any of you. I choose Crow.
ちょっと待ちなさい。
I've already been with all of you. Why would I choose you again? I'm gonna choose somebody else.
待ちません。みちると私に限って言えば勝負ついてるでしょ。あんな兄様のお情けで判定勝ちしたようなコンクールでですか？
Oh, damn. Dang me true. Just roasting Misaki. What kind of heartwarming scene is this? It's like they're having a mock fight with stuffed animals or something. In the midst of that chaos, Makoto was having quite a laugh.
もういっそ全員の頭を叩いて記憶喪失にでもなってもらった方がいいんじゃない？
There's still time for that. Now look, why can't we solve this mess with words? What makes you think resorting to violence would solve it?
手っ取り早いよ。
Yeah, you would say that. Makoto, you're a brute. Though, I like that about you. Perhaps it was actually because of that she was able to find her true self around other people.
まあレイ君が不真面目にみんなと付き合ったわけじゃないしね。もしそうだったらとっくに刺されてるだろうけど。
I'll just have to make sure I don't cheat on anyone then. Or technically, in their eyes, I already have. She was seriously freaking me out. I had to turn away.
ということは、ああ、おそらくそうなるだろうな。
Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that Miu and Crow were ignoring us and talking about something else. Then Miu came over to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading something on my phone. Did I read that twice? I don't know. That face of yours is kind of scaring me. What's
ダ
up?
メです。
I mustn't what?
誰かを。いえ、誰を選んでもダメなんです。
Why? You want me to choose you, Miu? What are you trying to say? Is this about the whole girlfriend thing?
そうです。皆さんも聞いてください。
Miu's serious demeanor caused Makoto as well as the bickering Michiru and Misaki to stop talking and their attention to her.
なんか注目されると照れますね。
There's no need to be worrying about that now,
そう
though.
ですね。結論から言うと、レイ先輩が誰かとお付き合いすることになったら、先輩が死にます。
Miu's not going to reveal that she's actually, like, some all-seeing person, right? Like, that she has, like, outside information. Like, she's actually a goddess like Crow. Like, she's not going to, like, drop that on me, is she?
つまり、この夏の間に、レイ先輩が誰かと恋仲になり、デートの帰り道にモノレールに乗っている。
How the hell do you know about this? And that was Crow, by the way, I'm pretty sure.
その状況を再現というより、確定させてしまうと、また神様に会うということです。
Okay. The solution here is I just choose everybody, right? I mean, I'm okay with that.
わかりますよね。
Yeah, I just need to ignore nobody, because I can't hurt anybody, right? So I choose everybody. Easy. It's like Pokemon, you gotta catch them all, right? Well, it's not too complicated, at least. In other words, if we ended up creating the same situation again, my future wouldn't change. I'd escaped the goddess once by traveling back in time to a point where I wasn't dating anyone yet. And if I found myself in the same situation again, Crow wouldn't be able to help me, and I would die for sure. Well, if you put it that way, should I still go out with someone and stop using the monorail? Would that be safe?
安全を考えれば可能な限り違う状況にしておく方がいいと思いますけど。
I know. So I should change. Everybody has memories of me dating them, except Crow, apparently. So I should date Crow. Easy.
つまり私と付き合うと兄様が死んでしまうということですか。
I know. That's the best news we've had this entire game.
どうしてもみちるは自分が先輩の相手だって決めつけたいのね。
That is true.
もちろんです。運命ですから。二人とも冗談じゃないんだよ。
This is the best time for jokes.
分かっていますよ。さすがに兄様が死ぬと分かっていて迫るほど愚かではありません。
What if we just don't date anybody? We just have friends with benefits. Would that work?
そうよね。いや、私は迫っていないわよ。
This will become the real perverted route. We just give for everybody. Michiru and Misaki were clearly quite dismayed at the troubling news. I really want to see Dee Dee. I know Dee Dee's not here right now. I really want to see what Dee Dee's thoughts on all of this are, because she's probably very confused. We kind of proposed to her, so she should remember that part, because that wasn't a part of the after story. Like, so... I mean, we're kind of betrothed to her, a little bit. With the mood from earlier having changed dramatically, everyone else put their heads together and started debating what to do next. Good grief.
あれ、レイ君、なんか余裕だね。
Why the hell would he be? This is the best news he's had. He gets all these girls to be in love with him. This is like the male fantasy right here. What do you mean? This is the best route for him. I didn't even notice because I was standing next to me until she said something. Well, it's all my problems. There's no point in panicking about it. Plus, I don't have a specific solution in mind, and worrying about this isn't going to help me find one.
私の時もそんな感じだったね。
More importantly, don't you want to join the others?
まあ、いいんじゃないかな。
Why not? Makoto's indifferent attitude was even more mysterious than the situation I found myself in. In response to my question, Makoto showed me a smile brimming with confidence.
まあまあ、レイ君ならなんとかなるって。
That is true. We did find it out in the end in her route. I did like her route, like I said. It was interesting. It was different. Guess she didn't have any particular reason. Gosh. This is the best route, though, you guys. What even is this? This is so good. And I will say, some of the routes were mediocre. I still stand by that. Or they had a few good moments, but they were like, they were okay. All those combination of things made this route so good. I really want to see, what is system? Not system. I need to go here. Okay. Crow 1, Encounter with the Goddess. We're still in the first part of this. So much has already happened. I'm already loving this. In the first one. I really hope it maintains this momentum. I hope it doesn't pad this too much, you know? Having failed to come up with any bombshell solutions or insights for my newfound problems, we all went our separate ways. All the same, Crow, Makoto, and I ended up leaving earlier than the others. We wanted to continue this discussion in a follow-up meeting of sorts. I tried to play it cool here, but riding the monorail this evening, I couldn't calm myself down. I found myself being vigilant for any sort of omen. If Mia was right in declaring that I would be safe as long as I didn't get a girlfriend, I'd probably be fine, but safest option would be not to ride the monorail at all. But in this city, not riding the monorail would be extraordinarily inconvenient. I held onto the strap hanging from the ceiling for dear life, having no idea if the train would screech to a sudden stop. I feel like I'm worrying too much, but I can't shake the memory of all that either. I gnashed my teeth while muttering anxiously to myself. Meanwhile, as the person beside me... I just spent more time with Crow. Monorail shook back and forth as it traced the general line of the tracks, and Crow matched to shaking by waving her whole body back and forth like a balancing toy. You really should hold on to the straps or the railing.
楽しんでるように見えるけど。人の身だと揺れとはこのような感触だったのだな。
Yeah, she's usually floating, so she probably doesn't feel it. Crow muttered with intense fascination. Evidently, discovering human sensations was a lot of fun to
ちょ
her.
っと車両の先頭に行ってみてもよいか？
Just stay still, she a child. Even with all that accumulated knowledge she had, one could say Crow was literally akin to a child born a few hours ago. She kind of was reborn in a way. The awkwardness she displayed reminded me of when I had to watch over Michiru all the time back when she lost her sight.
ところで、ご主人。
What?
お主、あの場では意図的に口にしていないことがあるだろう。
Hmm? Thought about it for a moment. Well, I've become pretty curious about why you were in a school uniform when you became a
こ
human.
れは人間の女子が着ている服として最も統一されている姿を我が輩が模しただけであろう。
Yeah, but you failed because you look better than all the other girls. So, you're not normal. I'd say school uniforms are a perfect representation of that image.
分かっていてはぐらかし
What do you mean?
レイ君が神様に殺されちゃうっていうのがクロちゃんの時計の副作用なのかどうかってことでしょ。
Nah, it's not because of that. Hey, I was trying to steer clear of the minefield. Don't go diving into it on my behalf.
女は度胸。
I don't know. There's a lot of guys who are in shy girls. So, I would say they could get a lot. I was to ignore Makoto's oversimplified aphorism. Crow was glaring at
気
me.
づいていなかったわけではあるまい。
Yes, you're right. The handrail gave a creak as if I shifted more of my weight into it. Tries as Makoto figured that out,
そ
though.
りゃ私はクロちゃんの時計のことについてレイ君と同じくらい詳しいし。
That is true. She would have knowledge of
し
that.
かもそこの女子は時計のせいで面倒ごとに巻き込まれていたからな。
Yeah, I think I remember that. Out of all the girls I knew, Makoto was the lone individual among them who had a sort of VIP status. Misaki and Miyu hadn't even known about Crow or the watch before today. Yeah, okay. I do see why Makoto's route was important to play right before Crow's. I feel like it kind of fed into it and it's fresh in my memory, where I think it's kind of the most important one, at least, because she kind of has knowledge about the watch too. Yeah, okay, I can kind of see why it kind of feeds into each other. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the order I did it in. I'm not really having any regrets. I kind of get the gist of all of it, and I especially think Makoto's just probably has the most that pertains to this, at least in this moment. As for Michiru and Didi, while they were already in the know about these topics, my time travel ability hadn't been a part of their knowledge. I could even say that you could maybe play Michiru's right before Makoto's and then Didi's. Like, that was kind of the order I was going to originally do. But I'm kind of fine with having done Michiru's second, because I feel like I got to know her more, and I kind of started liking her character a lot better. The only one who knew everything was Makoto. And yeah, I kind of have to say, I feel like I actually liked Misaki's the least, which was kind of crazy, because she was kind of one of the girls I liked the most. And I feel like her route was kind of the most tame, the most boring. So I'm kind of glad I did that one first. Yeah, I really like the order I did everything in. I'm happy with that. The only one who knew everything was Makoto. There's also the fact that everyone else was completely unaware of Makoto's incident, except for the time she smashed that window, but to them, they had been carried out by a doppelganger posing as Misaki. Well, I do understand how all this probably happened because I got involved with Crow and their watch. I paused for a moment thinking about how to phrase this. But that said, I also know that it's all thanks to her watch that I'm even alive right now.
あの事故のことか。
事故？
Yeah, that was supposed to have happened today. I first realized the power within Crow's watch when I was almost run down by a truck.
そんなことがあったんだ。
Yeah, we almost got isekai'd. Maybe we did get hit by the truck. Maybe this is the isekai. We got teleported into an alternative universe where Crow is actually a girl we can date. You know, getting hit by a truck doesn't sound so bad now, does it? Okay, that's not permission to go do that, guys. That won't happen. Or at least not that I know of. So don't do that, okay? I'm not encouraging it. I'm not promoting it. I just want to throw that disclaimer out there. So I can understand why my involvement with the watch is why I'm at risk of dying, but I wouldn't be alive right now if I didn't have it with me. And besides, this is going to be embarrassing to say, but I wonder if it would be better not to say this, but Crow and Makoto were staring at me expectantly, so I let out a sigh and continued. I feel like I'm doing a lot more of my life than I was before I met Crow, probably because I very nearly got killed. So instead of blaming Crow for everything that's happened, I guess I should be grateful to her for it instead. That was enough. It really was embarrassing to say.
はあ、なるほどね。
人間としては納得するべき意見なのか？頭に中身の詰まっていない意見にも聞こえるのだが。
Crow said cock. Makoto agreed with me right away, but Crow was not so easily convinced.
どうだろうね。 まあレイ君はどこか変だし、そういう考えもありなんじゃない？
Okay,
ご
I'll
主
give you that.
人がおかしいのは今に始まったことではないか。
That's true. For the record, I don't have any sort of death wish, okay? I felt the need to make that announcement since Makoto seemed ready to order me to commit harakiri, and I had no interest in wanting to cut my own stomach open. Is that supposed to be like, committing seppuku? Well, speaking of stomachs, I suddenly heard a low growling sound. Crow glanced down at her abdomen with a look of confusion. Hey, it's her first time being hungry.
なんだ今のは。
Oh, I guess her stomach's
いっぱい
empty.
食べさせてあげなきゃね。
そうか、これが空腹で食事によるエネルギー補給が必要な合図か。人の身は不便なものだ。
Yeah, but eating food is nice. I really enjoy it. Crow muttered pathetically to herself. For the rest of the day, at least, it was probably more important to take care of Crow's needs as a human being than to worry about my own problems. Our house had no shortage of extra rooms and was more than able to accommodate an unexpected guest. While I'd always taken that for granted, I found myself feeling oddly thankful for that now. Once the monorail pulled into the closest station, I called Makoto over for a word in private. Hey Makoto, I have a favor to ask.
なんじゃらほい。
Could you look after Crow?
うちで預かってくれってこと？
No, that's not it.
そっか。無知なクロちゃんにいろいろなことしちゃうチャンスだもんね。
Don't put it that way, please.
レイ君はエロい
Don't say that. Honestly, Makoto, sometimes I wonder why the hell I'm still friends with you. After we threw the other pocket watch in the sea, you really did live happily ever after, right? Or we did. Well, Makoto and I had no memories of what happened after that, so I can never know for sure. There are lots of things that Crow doesn't understand about being human yet, so I want you to help her out if she's having
な。
trouble.
別に構わないけど、それってミチルちゃんか DD さんに頼む方が良くない？
Of course, I'll let them handle it when she's at home. But as for when she isn't, you're the one who understands Crow and what she needs more than anyone else. Most importantly, you understand how terrifying her powers can be.
そういうことか。よく気が回るね。
Yeah, Makoto's definitely the right person to kind of watch over her, though Makoto's a little violent sometimes. Hopefully that won't rub off on Crow. Makoto seems surprised and impressed to hear me say that. Well, I do like to plan things out, after all. But I like flying by the seat of my pants even more.
すごく納得。
As we both continued to converse, Crow, who had gone ahead of us, came running back to where we were.
はーい。ご主人。ご主人。
God bless.
預けてた切符をくれ。機械に切符を入れるのは楽しいのだ。というか、触れるだけであの機械を通れる魔法のカードを我が輩にも買ってくれ。
Crow waved her arms in the air like an excited child.
クロちゃんは人間になったことを満喫してるような気がするけどね。
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to interact with the world more. This route is already so good. It's so wholesome. I'm sure it's going to get more crazy soon. I have no doubt about that. And so on and so forth. Night fell in a rather uneventful fashion. We trusted Crow to our maids, a bunch of middle-aged women who loved to have guests, and as a result, I didn't see her after returning to my room, since she would have been in the main wing of the house. To ensure my family didn't find out about her, she ate dinner separately from Michiru and me as well. It made sense to give her the same kind of treatment we gave little Michiru before. Crow undoubtedly received a warm welcome from the maids as well. I bet anything they were patting her head and pinching her cheeks for hours. So ultimately, there's pretty much no way in hell she'll be staying in my room, I guess. I had dreamed of living together with a beautiful girl, but reality is too cruel to allow such a dream to come true. Even if I tried to make it come true, Michiru would meddle around behind my back to foil that plan, just like she did with Dee Dee. At times like this, I expect Crow to float down from the ceiling and chat with me for a little while. I was bored. What was I supposed to do from here on out? Makoto wouldn't drop her lunchbox this time around, and Mia wouldn't try to confess to Shuji again either, unless something dramatically changed. All the other girls had already dealt with their own problems as well. In other words, beginning tomorrow, no particularly troublesome problems or accidents would spring up. Had I returned to the peaceful days before I ever found Crow's pocket watch? After all, I couldn't find a girlfriend this time around. Well, I should get some sleep before I worry about any of that. Everything that had happened today had my head feeling weighed down with exhaustion. Wouldn't do any good to stay up late thinking about these things. I've always been told back when I was a boy to always get a reasonable amount of sleep. Setting my wake-up alarm on my phone, along with the automatic shutdown timer on my fan, I turned out the lights. Good night. Is that going to be the end of Chapter 1? Or not? Sleep is what puts an end to the day. Sleep is the only time a person is free from the need to think about anything and the need to feel anything. I could wax poetic about vague recollections of time spent in the womb, but in any case, lying in bed like this felt nice and cozy. Therefore, upon being woken up in the middle of the night, irritation was the very first thing I felt. I opened my eyes. Oh my gosh, we're being blessed. Look at this. It's freaking crow and cat ears. I'd had expected to see Michiru, but it was actually Crow by the side of my bed. And she has a collar on. What is going on here? She stood there with an expression so listless for a moment I actually did think she was a ghost. What are you doing? What's with those clothes? Yeah, look, you look absolutely adorable. I wouldn't say they're weird. Cute seems more accurate. I almost wanted to ask her to go, yeah, but she probably wouldn't wear that outfit again if she got self-conscious about it, so I held that thought. Frick. I know we can't ask her to say yeah. Feels like that cat girl in Monogatari. That's what I'm getting flashbacks to right now. I haven't seen Monogatari. I heard it's a really weird show, and I've seen a lot of clips from it, and I'm like, wow, this is a weird show. Don't know if I'll ever watch it. In any case, I grabbed the phone, which lay beside my pillow. The screen glowed in the darkness like a firefly. It was 2 in the morning. You're up early, or have you been awake the whole time? I meant this as a joke, but Crow gave me a serious nod. Out of sleep. Or stood there quietly and fidgeted nervously. Did she mean, are you insinuating you want to sleep together with me? Joke's on you, I'm into that. I'm joking, after all the time we spent together, I'm sure you already know that. I rubbed my eyes as I got up. Since it would be too bright, I didn't bother turning the lights. The air felt tepid and warm, almost like the inside of a fish tank, and bright moonlight streamed in through the windows. Even during the wee small hours, the night was alive with the chattering of insects. Yeah, I like the unique atmosphere of these hot nights, summer nights have to them. Well, when you do it for years, you kind of get used to it. Kind of something that you don't really know how to control at first, but you kind of learn, okay, I'm going to put my head down, and you kind of like, okay, I'm going to sleep. Crow gave a quiet sigh. Even if you don't know how to sleep, surely you must feel tired, right? I believe the correct term for that is loafing. Couldn't help but smile. I guess you're all hyped up from experiencing so many new sensations for the first time, aren't you?
食事や入浴というものはとても興味深いものだった。特に味というのはすごいな。食事はエネルギーへの変換に必要なだけのはずなのに、も複雑で表現しきれない感覚の数々には参った。
Yeah, if you have access to good food, it can be pretty fun.
お主ら人間が食事を生きる上で大事にしていることがよくわかったぞ。
Gosh, Crow's so adorable. That's why you can't sleep. I suppose the quality of life and the quality of food go hand in hand, so it's pretty important to be grateful for having a well-stocked pantry. Yeah, I feel like this is just very overwhelming for her. It's kind of like the night before Christmas when you're a kid and you're like so excited for Santa to come the next day and see all your presents. You just kind of get overwhelmed with excitement and emotion, And I would imagine like being able to experience all these things for the first time would be kind of overwhelming. So she sort of reminded me of Dee Dee. Okay, that's probably not... I wouldn't consider that a very enjoyable thing. It can be, if you really need to go, but don't talk about that. Well, even if part of me is a little curious, we still shouldn't talk about that. Didn't really want to risk it. Ray! Oh no, Ray's gone. He's forever gone. He's gone into that side. Even if we don't have a reason to stay awake, sometimes we still have days where we can't go to sleep. I mean, I'm into some things, Ray, but don't... That's probably better you didn't go there. Give her a reassuring nod. Since Crow was practically equivalent to a newborn child, even if it kept me from sleeping, I decided it would be best to keep her company for a little while. Since we're up, do you want to go outside? Even if it's pretty late, we can at least go look at the moon. Late night date with Crow. I love it. Went out through the porch and the garden. Crow followed after me like a duckling following after its mother. The evening air with no walls around to constrain it felt much more exhilarating. Though I could feel a slight chill to it, the thought occurred that since I had returned to the early days of summer, the peak of seasonal humidity had yet to come at this time of year. Crow breathed out a sigh of relief. I thought she wanted to talk about something, but she didn't say anything. I didn't want to rush her, so I waited in silence. There was all the time in the world. Crow walked aimlessly through the garden, looking at the ground and the trees around her. Then she stood at the edge of the pond and gazed up at the sky. Looks kind of funny seeing her in these kind of shorts, but looks like something a Kingdom Hearts character would wear personally. I could die now. If you don't understand it, then don't worry about it.
そんな虐待もないことばかり言っているから面倒に巻き込まれるのだぞ。
I'll have to watch my tongue then.
後悔せい。
Crow finally cracked a smile at my jesting.
いや、わずかにだが眠りには落ちた。だから眠るのが怖いのだ。
I understand that. Sometimes it's like your mind is just going so much, you don't really want to fall asleep. It's kind of scary, just like blacking out and not realizing what happened. After I asked that question, I decided to soften it a little bit. No, I mean, you don't have to explain, but if there's something on your mind, I won't mind hearing you out. If there's something you want to talk about, go ahead and talk about it.
ありがとう。
Returning her gaze to the moon above, Crow nodded obediently. She was too darn cute, but I didn't want to ruin the mood by saying that out loud.
そう。どう言えばいいのだろう。眠ることそのものが怖かったのではない。目が覚めた時、時間がそのまま続いていたことが怖かったのだ。神でいるうちは物事に意味などなかった。
Yeah, time flowing and changing is what gives you meaning to your life.
生きていることも死んでいることもどちらも我が輩にとっては等価だった。上も下も成功も失敗も笑顔も悲しみも何もかも興味はあったが価値はなかった。好きな時に好きな可能性を選べば良いだけのものだったからな。それが今は一つにつながってしまっている。眠れば意識のないうちに時間が過ぎる。命がこぼれ落ちていく。終わりが1秒ずつ近づいている。人間にとって時間がこれほど恐ろしいとは思わなかった。いや、分かっているのだ。人がそうやって生きていることは分かっている。
Crow craned her neck skywards in a trance-like state.
月が綺麗だ。
It's a typical kind of anime. What does she call it? Stardust handshake, I believe. If you know the reference, you know the reference. I mean, it's not hard. It's my favorite anime. So, after Crow muttered that to herself, she went quiet. She reminded me of Princess Kaguya, awaiting the day when her royal entourage would come for her. I understood now. Crow didn't finish her train of thought, but what she was trying to say was easy to discern. Having been blessed with the gift of life, she had become afraid of death. It's another one of the same type of simple, beautiful anxieties a child would have. Today, Crow had experienced a great deal of wonderful and enjoyable things she'd never had a chance to experience before now. Swaying with the movements of the train, tasting a well-prepared meal, all that could be experienced with the five senses. Hence, the thought of all those things being taken away had scared her. Then it voiced my thoughts out loud. I took a deep breath. The night was very, very still, and the pleasant summer air felt quite pleasant.
何か言うことはないのか?
Crow evidently couldn't bear the silence as she was the first to speak up. No, there's not much I can say.
おい、少しは悩んでいる我が輩を慰めようとは思わんのか?
I mean, you just kind of have to experience this for yourself. Looks like someone else besides me has a knack for saying useless things too.
お主という人間をずっと見てきたせいでな。
Well, I'm flattered. At least Crow hadn't been there to see all the different ways I could act like a total loser after the incident with Miu. She She wasn't the type to wallow in self-pity either. Crow was the type of person who, when reading manga or watching a TV show, would wonder why the protagonist was sitting around agonizing over a problem that could probably be solved in 5 seconds. Though if all the problems in fictional media were like that were solved right away, everything went back to normal and everyone lived happily ever after, that wouldn't be very interesting at all. I was serious when I said there's not much I can say about that, though. I'm like talking so fast because I don't know, I've just been excited about this trial. Like, it's actually like genuinely like got me like hyped up. You're not stupid for feeling that way, Crow, and I understand why you don't want to sleep by yourself. So now that you understand what it means to be afraid of something, I guess you could say I'm happy to hear that. I smiled. I returned a blank stare.
なるほど。難しいものだ。
Crow returned a slight smile of her own. Seemed a little lonely though. I guess I much prefer to see girls wearing great big summery smiles. Hold it over while trying not to let Crow see through me. I want to be able to convince her of everything right away. There's no perfect solution to this dilemma of hers. The longer one were to search for a solution, the more of a problem it would become. To continue living life despite the dilemmas and regrets carried upon your back, it's only human. I didn't want to be able to convince Crow of that necessity right away, since she had never been human until today. Death is quite a frightening thing. Everyone suffers anxiety about that at some point, but back when I was a kid, how was I able to overcome that anxiety? I couldn't quite remember, but surely it must have been my parents being there for me. I got it. Finally realized what it was that Crow did not have. Crow. I called her name while holding out my hand.
その手はなんだ。
Never mind that. Stick out your hand too.
なんじゃ。似合わぬ猫なで声を出しおって。
More like I'm being nice about it. I just want to hold your
お
hand.
主のことだから。下心があるのだろ。
Okay, maybe, but just trust me, okay? Oh, chill. I probably have about 40% malicious intent at most. That still rounds down to 0.
素直すぎるのもどうかと思うぞ。
Heaving a sigh, Crow hesitantly took my hand. Unlike Michiro, Crow seemed to have quite a high body temperature. Warmth of her touch was just like that of a child. In addition, her hand was slightly trembling. It seemed like she was nervous about touching another human being. What Crow did not have was the warmth of another's touch. When I was a child, it was my parents' physical contact with me that did more to quell my anxieties than any soft-spoken words could ever do. I mean, it's true. I mean, being married, you know, I get to be around my wife all the time, and it is very comforting to have another human being that you can kind of like trust and rely on and know that you're not alone, right? An unfamiliar touch of my hand made Crow crouch down timidly in place, a perplexed look on her face. Girl, I'll give you a charm to help you sleep.
なんじゃ。
From now on, I'm sure you'll have a lot of fears and a lot of
も
anxieties.
しは我が輩を不安にさせたいのか。
Not at all. Wherever you may run into these things, I'll be sure to lend you a hand no matter what. That's a promise. Oh?
いや、おではない。
What's with you?
なんだこそお主は。あれ何かおかしいぞ。
What are you freaking out about?
いやいや。お主こそなんだその約束は。
It's a nice one? Why don't you just accept the gesture? Just giving you my word that I'll protect you when things get tough.
そうなのだが。バカ者。
What? What does that even mean? Crow mumbled with a strange sort of expression. The tension had disappeared from her body and the lines in her face had softened. Alright then, I think we should get back to sleep now.
そうだな。
We held hands as we went back to the house. I glanced up at the evening sky one more time. There was good weather on the horizon. There was something I could be confident in knowing. That we get to date the best girl in the game? That would give me confidence. Dang, that was an amazing first chapter. That was better than everything that's happened before in this game. So good. So good. We're gonna end it here. I wanna stop on such a high note. I really enjoyed that. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me enjoy that, because I loved everything about that. That was phenomenal. This is already the best route by far. So good. Anyways, though, I doubt next episode I'll have this level of energy, but this was really good, and I had something to actually be hyped about. For sure. I'm very excited about that. I've had to go to the bathroom. I've had to pee this entire time, and I'm just so excited. I don't really care. I do care now, because I'm about to end the video, but gosh, so good. Really looking forward to the rest of this route. I really am curious to see which direction it goes. I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of drama and things happening in this, so I'm excited to see how Ray and Crow's relationship builds. I think this is by far the most interesting start to the route, but I'm glad I played all the other routes and I'll have a bigger enjoyment of this one. I feel like if I just jumped into this one, it wouldn't be that great. But since I've had all the events leading up to this one and I have all these memories of as Ray has of dating all the other girls, I think it's gonna be really special. So looking forward to this, and I hope the rest of it is just as good. Anyways, you guys, I'll end it here, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.